Thank you so much. Good morning.
I hope you can hear me.
Femi,
Good morning. Good morning.
Vimbai, and the rest of us.
Good morning, Sana.
Okay, well, where do we start from? Sumna Sambo. Let's deal with the Peter Obi issue first. I have a report here, or a WhatsApp message from Chika Nabuife, Head Media Subcommittee, Anambra South Zona Mega Rally. He used to be my colleague at The Guardian. And he's saying that, look, in our newspaper review this morning, we were saying that Governor Soludo made reference to Mr. Peter Obi, and that it is not true. And that the whole story about serving one term has nothing to do with Mr. Peter Obi, that Governor Soludo was referring to opposition candidates from the Anambra South Zone in the state who are talking about serving only one term. And he says, this has absolutely nothing to do with Mr. Obi. Please set the record straight. But apart from this complaint...
Did you mention Anambra?
From Anambra, right?
Oh, okay. During the newspaper review, I don't think we mentioned Anambra.
No, not your review.
Oh, okay.
I think the review
at the beginning of the show.
yours,
I'm with you. I'm sorry. My apologies.
So, apart from this from Munabufe, do you think it is possible in Nigerian politics for anybody who becomes president from any zone to promise, oh, I will serve only one term, and people will believe that person? Because these positions are not held only by persons. They are also held by ethnic groups, geographical zones, and all of that. And all of them will come and say, no, this is our turn. And if Mr. Peter Obi becomes president of Nigeria, do you think Igbos will agree with him to say, oh, I want to do only one term? When the last time they heard enough was since the time of Aguiyi Rossi.
Very interesting proposition by Mr. Peter Obi there. And then, of course, your question is very, very apt. There's always been this mutual distrust between Nigeria's ethnic groups, especially when it comes to the presidency. But like you have said, if he does come to power, it will be a different ballgame. But don't forget that your former boss, former President Goodluck Jonathan, then as president of Nigeria in 2010, 2011, had proposed a single term of 6 years. Having seen how the presidency is being used like a football to be kicked around the 6 geopolitical zones, he has said that, look, if we want this country to move better and for us to achieve this rotational presidency, I think one term of 6 years will be better. And so that's the context from which I'm saying this proposition by the former Labour Party presidential candidate in 2023. And he's putting his integrity at stake. And, you know, it's like advertising. Peter Obi is pitching to the north and pitching to the rest of the country. But what I want to say is that Nigerians should critically take a look at it. They should give it a huge consideration. The challenges that we have right now, the Southwest itself, from which President Tinubu comes from, Fourth Republic more than other component parts of the country. And I think Peter Obi was trying to direct that to other parts of Nigeria to take a critical look at it, because Obasanjo did 8 years. We've had Tinubu now completing one term, which will now make it 12 years by 2027. So if Peter Obi is able to, you know, put his integrity more at stake and reach out to the right stakeholders, he could actually pitch this in a better position that will make it look like the Southeast can conclude that 4 years that's left for Southern Nigeria and that he stands a chance. People should hold him by his integrity. Yes, of course, he actually did well in the last presidential election and his integrity is at stake. But the major problem that I have with him is not this pitching that he has brought in place. It's for the fact that he's confusing his followers, his supporters at the moment, because they don't know whether he's in ADC or he's still in Labour Party. And so that in itself, that he does not have a strong political vehicle that they can count on right now, is counting against him compared to this pitch. But this pitch that he has brought is a very, very perfect pitch. It aligns with what then President Goodluck Jonathan has said. And I think rational Nigerians who think politically and want the sustenance of this country should actually consider it, and they can hold the Southeast and Mr. Peter Obi to this one-term proposal. It's a very good proposal, conclude the 4-year of the South, but of course, then you have the biggest elephant in the house, President Bola Tinubu. Can he, if given the opportunity, for example, defeat a Bola Tinubu who is an incumbent, who has all the appurtenances of power, the coercive apparatus of state to wriggle his way into 2027?
Okay.
Well, it's left for us to see.
Except that nobody says ice cream in politics. Bola Tinubu is not going to give ice cream.
Let's see. Let's go into what Simon Sambo put forward. Is trying to is exploring the possibility of Obi actually pulling that stunt off. We'll get into it, but let's. He pointed out a very important fact, which is the followership of Obi. They are confused. Either they are PDP, whatever. But I think I have to disagree with Simon Sambo based on my interaction with the obedience. I'm not talking about the regular obedience. I'm talking about the movers and shakers of the obedience. Maybe I should use the word before. I'm talking about the likes of Kenneth Okonkwo, Aisha Yusuf, and the rest of them. If I am to take their position regarding what Simon Sambo say about the followership not knowing where Obi is, I would say, well, Simon Sambo, just don't conclude yet. I don't think that's the right assumption. They exactly know what they are doing. I mean, speaking from Kenneth and Aisha, they know what they are doing. They are working tirelessly on the ground. They will come out and hit you in the face, when the time comes. I mean, with me just paraphrasing and using the energies of Kenneth Okonkwo. So, well, somebody goes, wait till this guy they talk nonsense, rubbish. Yes, I know Kenneth Okonkwo is no longer with Obi or obedient, but this was the same question I put before him when he's still in CD, if not number 3, I've been number 2. I think Ozugo was number 2. Kenneth is up there in terms of leaders of that movement. This was the same question trying to point out, like, what's going on? They said, don't worry, man, shit are going on. So the same thing. So every obedient will always like to tell you that they know what they are doing. Peter Obi know what he's doing. At the right time, they will come out. So I am standing on that energy. I am standing on that conviction from this obedient that Simon Sambo, easy, relax, don't worry. They are not confused. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They're gonna pull it off. Now, so Democrats, Democratic followers, the Democratic Party of America, their followership. Now, so that they talk during their lead up to the 2024 election. 3 weeks. How many months? How many weeks to election? These motherfuckers could not say this is who their candidate is going to be, and they said it's a strategy. That's exactly what is happening to Peter Obi, which Samuel Sambo trying to point out, regardless of everything you think you have going on for you. If at this point you don't even know where you are going to compete on, I mean, what's the point? So the question will now becomes, are you going there to compete or to win? Because now waiting, one of my coach once said to me, going to Olympic to do what? Are you just going there to feed the lanes, or you are actually going there to pull it off? Because that's the question I'm asking the obedient at this point. I'm no longer interested if they are doing something or not. I want to stand with them. They are working on the ground. But the point I should be asking now, the question is, are you guys working to compete, to participate? Just like Coach Stancy, when I was in college, we always say, just go and participate, go and compete. Just go and compete. His beliefs and philosophies that in the act of competition, anything can happen. The same belief with Coach Onigbinde of Ibadan. That the game of final is a game of anybody. But in this case, I don't think politics is very predictable, especially at the dire minute. I mean, if you are going to be in a competition, that's if you are actually going to be in a competition by now, It's about representative. It's about representation. Who is going to enroll you? Who under what banner are you going to compete? These are questions that beg to answer. But I believe it's a strategy from the obedient side. If I have to stand on their energy. So, but let's so let me see this. Now, maybe go back. I like history. I like to, especially when this one will be saying our forefathers' history. It's just recently, a couple of days ago, a couple of years ago. I remember when Peter Obi told us he was desperate to be. He wasn't desperate to be the president. And people like me laugh because I know that's a political anthem, right? The former governor of New York, Como, says the politician campaign in poetry and governing prose. So that's in. I took that phrase in that line, that belief that the man just did talk as is expected. But of course, those that believed in him see it as a statement of that is directly pulled out of the Bible, that only God now go fit direct and to actually say something like that, that is the human in him. This is not the politician speaking. This is a godly ruler, a savior, uttering that kind of statement. So therefore, no other way to read the meaning to it. Well, I hope those that believe that it's not just a campaign slogan, we see why some of us we are kind of saying, with the latest revolution, which he said he was desperate. So is he desperate to see Nigeria work? He was desperate to see Nigeria work. Is he still desperate? Because you are begging. No, I beg you, they beg, like real sense, but we'll get to that. So it was a powerful statement that resonated with a lot of people. In fact, it painted him as a selfless leader, someone who cares more about the country than about himself. See, that was the conviction. That was what he portrayed. That was what that statement actually, people see that statement from that angle. It's not just for his own political ambition, but now the narrative seems to have shifted. We have seen a push for a single term, a new kind of political play. This has led many to question whether the original "I am not desperate" was a genuine statement, right? It wasn't. Or just a clever political strategy. It is a classical political dilemma. Does a leader involved strategy reflect a changing political landscape? It's a question. Or does it expose a hidden desperation for power? I go for that. And I don't hold it against him. He's just being a human. That's who he is. It's about power, Maslow hierarchy of needs, put it very, very, very accurately. At the top of it, the top of the echelon is what? Self-actualization, which is what power is all about. No matter who you are, where you come from, you will get to a stage in life, either through your achievements or your age or your experience. You want your voice not just to be heard, but to count. And in this case, that's exactly what Peter Obi is trying to do. He felt that he has, very successful as a businessman, well traveled, exposed. I mean, whatever is very cosmopolitan. He seems to be understand what the country is all about. So, of course, he's going beyond just understanding it. It's now when he's venting into the realm of was actualizing that he believed that the state of the nation should be. So that's what it's about. So I don't hold it against him. It's not a power monger. That's definitely every human's dream. That's what every man, not to be president, but you want to be in a position to say, you know what, this is what I think is it, and that should be the order. That's normal. It's a human thing. So Peter Obi is not exempted from that human like disease or whatever you want to say it is. It's not special. It's not going. So the idea that I am not looking for, I am not desperate for power. I just want to see Nigeria work is a powerful campaign statement that I think I would say that statement is still very much alive. It's not dead yet. So we see, but now him turning 360 degree to start begging. And I let me go to his twist. I understand where the beg is coming from. I understand his beg. He tried to frame it that it's not out of desperation, but that he can actually make import. Let's see if let's see what the tweet is about. So anytime you get to this video, please like, share, and subscribe. It's needed. My one-time 4-year vow, and I vow now, is sacrosanct. It's well, I don't know. I mean, it's a politician, so and he's a marketer. He's a businessman who one of his powerful abilities to sell. He's a salesman, so I'm not surprised his antics. So one of the greatest American presidents, okay, Abraham Lincoln served only 4 years term. Sir, that's not a fact. You is a liar. Abraham Lincoln he did not promise to serve one term, neither did he serve one time, I think. But let's bring into the screen. I think Abraham Lincoln was killed. Abraham Lincoln was killed. So let's fact checking why I'm trying to get to why he was assassinated. When then? So assassination April 15, 1965. That should be just 3 years after his administration, into his administration. Let me see. Now, I understand Obi point here is the impact Abraham Lincoln has made within that short period of time. I get that, but abilities for you to frame this correctly good, because I try to make this point on Dr. Damage. Somebody, Mandela did one thing. We'll come to that. We'll come to that. So he said he was elected in 61, in 60, but started his office in January 61 and was assassinated in 65. That's into his second term. Wait, let me see. So from March 2004 to April, so 2004, 1861 to April 1865. So he was assassinated. His goal is not to come and serve one time, neither did he promise to serve one time. But again, that's beside the point. The point Obi was trying to stress here is the impact Abraham Lincoln made. I'm trying to see the times that we are in now as in Nigeria and during that time of Abraham Lincoln. I think Obi has a point. I made this point leading to 2023 election that we are at that cross section whereby anything can happen. Because if you remember clearly, Abraham Lincoln came towards not no one would say stop the slave or whatever, but that's not really about this. Slavocracy was at the center of the Civil War. Of course, he represented the northern political league, while the slave was predominantly in the south. So it was an agreement that that's the force that actually brought him to power. Those who are advocating for slavery to end actually made Abraham Lincoln president. And as we can see, it did not go down well with the southern people that lost the slave. And what happened afterwards? The guy was assassinated while in power. Now, did he make any? Of course, when that is your campaign slogan, and in a way you did, because after that, even though the Civil War did not necessarily bring an end to slavery or make the country as the framers or the dreamers wanted to be won, but Prima one would say that is the beginning. Abraham Lincoln actually ushered that in. So, of course, and that forever making one of the powerful presidents in terms of legacy. All right, can't talk about America after the Civil War, of course. He has a front and center of it. So now, is Nigeria at that level? Of course, of course. I greatly believe that there's the two forces are play, however you want to see it, Muslim and Christian, right? That's the ideology that is still very much all the power rotation within the major ethnic groups. Yeah, so we can actually say it's similar to that of 1860s of America. Now, Obi leaning to that to say, I will serve one thing. And in other words, the policy that I'm going to usher in are policy that are capable of actually putting the country in a better shape or worse off. And he's ready to be that guy. That's pretty much what she's saying. The Nigeria is at a crossroads. In order for us to move forward in peace and in progress, somebody has to do the unthinkable. And he's that guy. All right. I don't see him as that guy because, for as far as I'm concerned, other than the ideological differences within the Nigerian context and the power rotation and all that, the most powerful power that is actually important in terms of us going progressively forward or united is the outside force. The which Obi is a prodigy of that outside force. It's a beneficiary of their antics. So I don't see him as that guy, but I will not go holding him against him for leaning towards that. He's a marketer, he's a politician, you got to do what you got to do. Now, he went ahead and mentioned, say, serve only 4 years. The guy was assassinated. Let's leave it at that. Yet, his legacy endure as a model for principal leadership. Of course, because of the times. And another iconic figure, John F. Kennedy. Again, that nigga was assassinated. Like, too. That guy was assassinated. Obi, what's your problem? Are you saying you are ready to take bullets? Obi, are you saying I'm ready to take bullet for us? If that is the case, I'm behind you. So Kennedy too was assassinated. And of course, I understand the man stands for unity, blah, 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 blah. But again, it's still the dichotomy between the north and south of America and ideology of progressive and what? Conservative. That when there's so much reason to that, but again, he was assassinated. I don't understand. And based on that, and it was at a time where the world, America is at the verge of saying the world is our playground. So it's also a significant moment, time, and period of American history. So, Obi, are we in that time and significant in our history? I agree, yes. Within the next 10 to 15 years, shit got to happen. And he wants to be the guy that will usher that shit or happen during his time or even laid his life down in the process. That's a very Very brave route to take to achieve your self-actualization. Anyway, then he came back to say, in South Africa, Nelson Mandela, revered globally as a symbol of justice and reconciliation, choose to serve only one time as the president of South Africa. I would debate that to the folks. It's not just that he chose to. There are so many factors. The NCNC is another big factor that led to Mandela serving just one term. This is a party that have made the struggle not just for independence, but because in the process of trying to achieve that independence, they were so stereotyped, damaged in the international community that they are not just desperate, they will do everything they can to make sure they present themselves, the world seeing them in a different light. And one of the powerful way to actually make that statement is to have a one-time president. That's out there. So even those who chose him to come and be the president at the time, what was the agreement he had with them? So there are a lot of factors. I'm not saying there are factors too who probably on the side telling Obi, you know what, we don't give a fuck what you really want. This is what we want. That's how you're gonna be one time or not. So that should also what should be included in this people, these people that is projected to make his point. Now, as a politician, I totally agree with him. I'm with him. Whatever strategy that I think is work for you, whatever lie you are ready to, whatever anything that you are ready to do to make sure you pull it off. Who am I to say no? Mine is just to watch, observe, and see how it come off, right? So his decision was a deliberate act of leadership, parts now, or a statement that power must serve the people, not the self. Oh God. Indeed, history showed that the longer many African leaders remain in power, the more likely they are to be corrupted by it. We will see, because all these things where they talk so, all this way they talk so. By the 2031, I will be too old to continue. We will see. We will still reach. 2031 will still come. But yeah, you will say I'm too old. Let the people take. We will see. So longevity in office is not a mark of success. Rather, it is a purposeful, accountable service. However brief, that defies true statesmanship. I agree with you, but it's easier said when you are out of that realm than when you are in. It is within this context that I reiterate my vows. I will serve only one term of 4 years if elected president, and that vow is sacrosanct. I like this guy, Shao. I like the guy. I like the guy. He knows how to. He knows his crowd. He knows his crowd, and he knows to communicate to them. It's okay. I am fully aware that the decay in our society has made trust one of the scariest. No, for me, it's not because of the decay in our society. Me, not just human nature. This is who we are as human. So, and must skeptically view more view commodities. Many Nigerians undoubtedly no longer take politicians at their words. Not just many Nigerians, it's all over the world. Y'all fucked up so many times that fuck y'all. But even in this climate of cynicism, there are still a few of those actions have matched their words, whose integrity is built on veritable precedents. Okay. Oh. Recently, I became aware of two statesmen aimed, I bet indirectly, at my vow to serve only a single 4-year term. One person remarked that even if I swore by a shrine, I still wouldn't believe, of course. Another suggested that anyone talking about doing only one time should undergo psychiatric evaluation. Facts. So, Ludo, I understand the bias of their skepticism. They are judge me by their own standard. That's a short. That's a shot. Well aimed. Where political promises are made to be broken, but they forget, or perhaps choose to ignore that Peter Obi is not cut from that cloth. Whoever that put this shit together for him, whether that wrote this thing for him, that guy deserve a raise. That guy deserve a promotion, man. Whoever wrote this tweet is deserve a promotion, deserve a raise. You know how to play. I have a verifiable track record that speaks louder than speculation. Huh, wow. I just wish Obi did not go with all this distraction and noise of other party, and they took to action as soon as they lost 2023 and take their destiny to their and form their own party, and maybe I will be on their side by now. But anyway, it's not about me. In my political life, my word is my bond. When I enter politics in Anambra State, I made clear and measurable promises to the people to improve education and healthcare, to open up rural areas through road construction, and to manage public funds with prudence. I fulfilled each of those promises without deviation. I did not swear by Shiran, nor have I been certified mentally unstable. As a result of honoring my words. God damn, man. Who the heck is putting this shit together, man? That person is good. Oh my. It's good. Said my vow serve only one time of 4 years is a solemn commitment rooted in my conviction that purposeful, transparent leadership does not require an eternity. God. There's a reason why he's a marketer anyway. So a successful one at that. I get it. If making such promises qualifies me for psychiatric evaluation, then we may as well question the mental fitness of those who frame our constitution. That one I agree. No. On that one, I understand your point you're trying to make, but motherfuckers that put that constitution together, they deserve to be evaluated. So, Peter, I don't know where you are going with this one, this particular line, this phrase. So you got it right. Cut it. I'll give it to you when you get it right. But this one, those motherfuckers that wrote our constitution, of course, deserve to be mentally evaluated, because that's what you're trying to say. If making such promises qualifies me for psychiatric evaluation, then we may as well question the mental fitness of those who framed our constitution. We are currently questioning them, motherfucker. The country is in agog with our constitution. At least four out of 5 Nigerians say the constitution is a garbage. So yes, we are questioning the mental fitness of those that actually wrote it. So, sir, this one, you fell off the wheel, which clearly stipulates a 4-year renewable tenure. We don't give a fuck if they do, if they put 4 years or whatever they put in the constitution. Those motherfuckers' mentality got to be put to check and maintain without equivocation. If elected, I will not spend a day. I like that word, if elected. So you can say whatever the fuck you want until you are elected. If elected, I will spend a day longer than 4 years. I mean, if them vote you out, well, I mean, I don't understand even how this one say even you have to vote make sense anyway. 4 years than in office. In fact, I believe that service should be impactful, not eternal. We must rebuild trust in our country. I have dedicated my public life to demonstrating that leadership with integrity is not a merit. I have done it before, and I do not intend to betray that trust under any circumstance. Nigga, you serve 2 terms in Anambra. I am pretty sure in your attempt to seek re-election, you went beyond and above to make sure some people don't see the daylight or don't even have a say in terms to oppose you in your own party. So what are you talking about, sir? Anyway, 48 months is enough for any leader who is focused and prepared to make a meaningful differences. In that time, I intend not to merely do more, to not make an impression, but to deliver on concrete promises, to sanitize our government system, tackle insecurity through effective and accountable use of national resources, prioritize education, healthcare, and poverty alleviation, catalyze, catalyze small businesses as engines of growth, and combat corruption with unflinching reserve. Above all, I will dedicate myself to transforming Nigerian from a consuming nation into a productive one. You see, that's are the kind of shit that make me actually question this. Actually, want to believe Soludo that I needed to be psychiatrically evaluated, right? Consuming nation to a producing nation under 4 years, like how? Ah, well, just AI maybe. Maybe with the latest tools, latest technology, AI means robotics, the biotechnology, maybe. But hell fucking no. Nigeria we know we get 12 hours power. How you even want to take advantage of the AI that is in all the latest technology? That's a different conversation entirely. Now, where agriculture technology and manufacturing replace rent seeking and waste as our national anchor. Oga, that's so you take big money. Oh. Now retailing, you do all your life. Oh. You are one of the best retailer we have in the continent. I'm not saying this because I'm for saying sake. Your success shows it. You are very successful at retailing. I got it. So where the idea of production, where they come from, I don't know. Somebody must have sold it to you, but that's okay. That's how government work, right? They are not utopia dreams. They are realistic, actionable goals that are achievable within 4 years. Whew. So let's go to the comically session. This is the man I follow. The man I stamp my feet in solidarity behind. You want to show what is possible in 4 years, and come 2027, you will. Obasanjo show us what was possible in 1 month, 4 years. It's a lot of it. I talk as he know his audience, so he know his followership. So I ain't surprised. 4 years is even too much. Yaraduwa did only 2 years, and still today, Nigerians are still discussing him as the best president ever. I don't know what Yaraduwa do. I was alive as an adult. I don't know. I don't know what he do. Just pity the man didn't die before his time. That's it. I don't know what he do. What is it? We see the measure in name. I don't get it. Amnesty. Oh, somebody's from Niger Delta. That's a bull crap. Fuck them. But that's not my business. My concern is, why did you donate just 1.8 billion to Southwest despite the 4 billion status? Are you not? Wait, what the fuck? What's this guy up to, man? What is this guy up to? Say, but that's not my business. My concern is, why did you donate 1.8 billion to Southwest despite your billion status? Are you not supposed to do better than the government? Stingy fellow. What the fuck is that? I don't even know what he's talking about. A verifiable track record. Look at Argentina in 2 years and look at Nigeria in 2 years. Both elections happen the same period. Dedicated of a leader is very different from corruption strategy of a criminal. Hey, Argentina, they compare Argentina to Nigeria. Chai. How can I say to that? Go, okay. Whew. That will be. So let's go back to the continue what those guys were talking about in the studio and see who's speaking what. My own be say, I hope Obi go get in 6 million back, because something
As he could
they are up to something, but I don't know what they are up to. And with with the way AI is going, 2027 will be magical. Boy, 2027 election will be magical. Like, people don't understand what is coming. Now, am I saying the technology is going to be one-sided in terms of how the competitors use it to benefit themselves or to use it to fight the opponents? Not saying that, but for we on the sideline, it's going to be interesting.
Would actually pitch this in a better position that will make it look like the Southeast can conclude that 4 years that's left for southern Nigeria and that he stands a chance. People should hold him by his integrity. Yes, of course, he actually did well in the last presidential election and his integrity is at stake. But the major problem that I have with him is not this pitching that he has brought in place. It's for the fact that he's confusing his followers, his supporters at the moment, because they don't know whether he's in ADC or he's still in Labour Party. And so that in itself, that he does not have a strong political vehicle that they can count on right now, is counting against him compared to this pitch. But this pitch that he has brought is a very, very perfect pitch. It aligns with what then President Goodluck Jonathan has said. And I think rational Nigerians who think politically and want the sustenance of this country should actually consider it, and they can hold the Southeast and Mr. Peter Obi to this one-term proposal. It's a very good proposal, conclude the 4-year of the South. But of course, then you have the biggest elephant in the house, President Bola Tinubu. Can he, if given the opportunity by ADC, for example, defeat a Bola Tinubu who is an incumbent, who has all the appurtenances of power, the coercive apparatus of state to wriggle his way into 2027?
Okay.
Well, it's left for us to see.
Except that nobody says ice cream in politics. Bola Tinubu is not going to give ice cream to another person because he wants to be seen as nice. That's not the arena for politics. Vimbai?
Now, beyond the politics of zoning, we also have to look at what's realistic and what's achievable. 4 years, do you think that's enough for anybody to make a real impact in governance of this country, especially what we've seen with this current president, the fact that reforms take time and they're saying we're turning the tide and so forth? Generally speaking, most people believe that 4 years is not long enough to make an impact. What do you think of this?
Well, I think Nigerians should actually do away with that mentality. Yes, it may not be enough, but if, for example, Peter Obi is coming to build on the reforms already put in place by President Tinubu, all he needs to do is to also introduce other reforms in other places. There's nowhere that is stated that you need 8 years. I mean, the people who framed the Constitution knew that there was going to be a time where presidents could only spend one term. And so if the electorate feel that the presidents, the incumbents have performed, they can renew the term. And if they feel that the incumbents have not performed very well, then the people have the last card to actually kick the president out of office. So the people who put this provision in the Constitution could have as well said it should just be a one term of 8 years. But they said, no, let it be a renewable term. And so if you have someone who is really strong in reforms, who really wants to put the country first, I mean, take, for example, former President Umar Musa Yar'Adua. He spent less than 4 years in power, about 2 years plus, and we are still talking about him today. The reforms he put in place, that, like, for example, the amnesty program in Niger Delta, they are still ongoing. So we need statesmen at this moment. We've had enough of politicians who come to do 8 years, and we don't seem to have enough, including those politicians who wanted to extend their tenure from 2 terms of 4 years, like Obasanjo, where we had corporate Nigeria in 2027, in 2006, 2007, wanting to extend the tenure of Obasanjo. If we want a reformist president, someone who just wants to put the country in good shape and then leave for the right leaders to come into place, I think we can do it. We can hold Peter Obi to his words, or even President Bola Tinubu, if his term is going to be renewed, hold him to some reformist agenda. It's long enough for us to just be giving people terms and compensating them because they have 2 terms or because they are from different regions. Can we try something new, for example, for the first time?
Whoever you are trying to reach is not available.
On this very same topic, we did see at the Arewa Consultative Forum not really speak as hopefully as this move from Peter Obi is political strategy because, well, I can't speak for them, but perhaps the belief is that if he says that he only wants to do 1 term, then people in the north would be more inclined to back his presidency because there would be a rotation of power back to the north thereafter. What do you think about what the ACF had to say about this promise to only serve 1 term if he is elected come 2027?
Yeah, it's a very good pitch, and the ACF and other component parts of northern Nigeria would want to actually give it a thought. But of course, then comes the question. It's not even about Peter Obi's proposal. My greatest fear for Peter Obi is that which major political party will hand over its ticket to him. Because the greatest fear is that Peter Obi, going into ADC, for example, can he stand an Atiku Abubakar at the primaries or a Rotimi Amechi at the primaries? Because Peter Obi has not really, if you look at his political trajectory, he has never stood at any major political primary and won that primary. In 2022, it was supposed to be his major test of national baptism in a major political party, but he left the PDP. The other times he was just as governor in 2003, and of course, you know what happened with Ngige and all of that, and he came and he got a renewable time. So 2022 was supposed to be his major test, but he left PDP, went to the Labour Party, and of course, you know what happened, and the ticket was handed over to him. Now, if a bigger political party, he wants to represent that big political party, he would have to face the bigger guys, like, for example, Rotimi and Atiku Abubakar. Can he defeat Rotimi Amechi or Atiku Abubakar in the ADC? Or is the Labour Party, as it stands right now, are they willing to give him the ticket? Because we hear that.
I think Obi can defeat Rotimi Amechi. I think Obi will defeat Rotimi Amechi in primaries. I think not. I'm not confident because it's like I think it's more or less 50-50. Amechi's love. Amechi has more love in the north than Obi in terms of among the political players. The guy served them well. He has an opportunity to serve them. He has served them for 8 years as minister, and it shows a yes, I served those people, and they reciprocated by showing love. So that alone is enough not for me not to say confidently that Obi can pull it off against Amechi, but it's a possibility. But against Atiku, there's no chance. There's no way. There's no way he stand a chance against Atiku in primaries. That's not even debatable. But it doesn't even make sense going that route in the first place. Just take your ground. It's too late for now in terms of 2027 to pick any small party and build it up. Or what I expected the obedience to do at that time is to just go into labor en masse and register. Once you are a member, you take over the structure of the party. That's exactly what Mega did. Even when Mega, led by Trump, succeeded in winning the first election, his party could not take over the control of the party. They couldn't. Because of that, they worked against him, and a lot of people agree that his first term as a president was a failure. But he will say that he was sabotaged. That's a fact. So, and that is because you are not in control of the Republican Party. But today is a different case. They did not go just complaining. They went to work. They make sure every pillar that worked against President Trump interests within that party, those so-called GOP, the guys they root them off the party under 2 years. It's a different ball game. So that is the power of being a member of a party. And that's what you can do. They failed to do it. They went on campaigning. They went on just I don't even understand what the obedient did in the last 2 years. They follow Atiku go, what's it called, Chicago, came back, they form, I mean, all kind of crap, even up to today. They follow show they do 10 days of bad government protest. Like, what the heck, man? Since they lost election, they have not led any national debate, national interest, national conversation, and anything. They just they attach. Atiku let we no agree. Tinubu was corrupt to Chicago. They let that, they tag along. Showore led 30 days of a bad government, they tag along. They were just Atiku assemble coalition of opposition parties, they tag along. Now that they beg PDP, say PDP, like, it's just fucking crazy. It's sad. Sad. But I just hope it's a workable strategy. And that they know what they are
Some of them
doing.
are not willing to give him the ticket. So beautiful proposition, but the platform now is the major problem that I'm saying. And the North will look at it from that prism and say, look, does it stand a chance? But look at Atiku Abubakar to also pitching a one-term. Can he be trusted? Can the Northerners agree? Is it not easier for them to go with Bola Tinubu and be sure that in 2031 they will get it back than for them to go with an Atiku Abubakar that they are not sure? And then, of course, it will affect the geopolitics of the Nigerian polity. So it's left for Nigerians to decide.
Sumna, I get your point about platform. That has to be resolved. But I'm saying that any politician that comes to you and says, I'm going to do only one term, that's a sign of desperation. It will not work.
Yep.
Just like all these gambits about serving food, carrying plates, and doing boy at parties that could be better organized by event organizers. It's also a sign of desperation. It doesn't work. It will never work. And then the second challenge, of course, is that you say the North will buy into this idea of one term. No, the North will not. Because the civil war in this country has never ended. I don't believe that Northerners who are already aggrieved with a Yoruba president will just shift and embrace the possibility of an Igbo president. There are contradictions in this country that have not been sorted out. We should lay the emphasis on competence, ability. If the Nigerian people are politically educated to a point where they can vote for a competent person, regardless of where it comes from, regardless of his religion, that's when this country will begin to move forward. So all this, I will do one time, I will serve you food, I will give you, please, that's not going to work, in my own opinion. I don't know whether you disagree.
Well, I mean, competence, integrity, and all of that, very important for the next president of Nigeria, whether it's President Bola Tinubu as he wants to continue, or it's for someone else that will be voted, or whether an Atiku Abubakar or Rotimi Amici and all of that. Yes, you've said it. Nigeria has not really recovered from the civil war and the politics of that period and all of that. But should we continue? That's what people are saying, and that's why it's time for statesmen to actually rise up. And why is a component part of the federation still being neglected? That's also on the conversation. When we started this country, independence-wise, I
don't understand why people you are repeating the statement of fact. Why you repeat them? You are putting it in form of a question. You just agree that the civil war has not ended. Then you kind of say, why is one section of the country? Not be the section of the country now the nation fight war against. Like, I just don't understand, man. If you ask you about to put it very simple, do you disagree with me? No, yes. Then you speak. I mean, you just repeat the same. You say I agree. I mean, I don't know, but I mean they getting pissed.
Nigeria has not really recovered from the civil war and the politics of that period and all of that. But should we continue? That's what people are saying, and that's why it's time for statesmen to actually rise up. And why is a component part of the federation still being neglected? That's also...
This is my frustration. What the fuck? What kind of question is that? You agree that the civil war is on. both politically, you put it even better than a party. I agree though. Again, you see the ask question. Like, what's going on?
On the conversation, when we started this country independent.
It be like the pastor that came on 90 Minutes Africa yesterday. You can't say you did beg, I'm sorry. Okay, you're sorry, I've forgiven you. Go. You come back, you repeat the same thing again. You can't tell me that sorry. That's disrespectful. So you deserve something more romantic. Will come to you.
Wise in 1960, it was started on a tripod. Democratically, the other two components of the tripod have ruled the country. So the debate will continue. Why is the third leg of the tripod being left behind? Eventually, we had a fourth tripod, which was the region that was carved out, the Midwest region that was carved out from the then old Eastern region. And the debate has been ongoing. Why not have someone from there? Well, we eventually had someone from the South, which happened to be former President Goodluck Jonathan. But then, how long can we continue to isolate one of the tripod that we started this country with in 1960? That is what statesmen, people who are thinking into the future, are saying. And that's why, if you look at
all these people with that, like, what the fuck, man? You just agree that there was a civil war and that civil war has not ended. And you are not saying how long will they continue to be ignoring that part? End the civil war. What the fuck? God damn, man. I just did end the fucking civil. If you believe the civil war has not ended, then what's the point of going forward? End it. Once you end the civil war, then that third leg of the agreement will automatically align. Like, what the fuck? That's my problem. There's still some things are just very simple. Stop. It's a complete statement. Stop. No, you want to continue doing just what make a day. Like, that's the same thing. You just agree that the civil war is still ongoing. Then you the question, how long? God damn it, put an end to the civil war. Why? What the fuck?
The geopolitics of Nigeria at the moment, the best chance that the Southeast has right now seems to be coming with someone like a Peter Obi. And then you see that if Peter Obi doesn't get it this time around, I wonder when next it could be, because he just looks like a semblance. Why not pitching for him? Look at President Bola Tinubu too. You have said it very clearly. Nobody gives you the presidency on a platter. And so Peter Obi has to do more than just offering this proposition. You will see how Tinubu supported several people. Supported Atiku Abubakar, supported Nuhu Ribadu, and eventually supported Buhari before getting it. How many people has Peter Obi supported to get to the presidency than before coming? The only time he got the opportunity was in 2019 with Atiku Abubakar, but in 2022, 2023, he broke out. When people are saying that he should have supported Atiku Abubakar and it would have been an easiest ascendancy. Well, there are others who are now saying that the best way the Southeast can get to the presidency, I mean, from another thinking, is for Peter Obi to be Atiku Abubakar's vice presidential candidate, and by 2031, Atiku Abubakar will now hand over to him. That's the surest way. And I think Peter Obi and others who should consider this. Well, because no one gives you the Nigerian presidency on the platter of gold. But Nigerians need to consider the Eastern region. That's the only pitch that I find very considerate. And of course, the issues of competence can come in there.
Okay, I get that principled position. After all, Payo Adebanjo pushed that position. But President Tinubu is saying he's the one representing the South now.
Right.
If Buhari did 8 years, the South is also entitled to 8 years. And that's where the argument is. And that's why Gbajabiamila is talking to his colleagues, and they are saying that the Southwest will hold this position.
See how this elite are selfish. And when they say we practice democracy, Obi, whom are you begging? Go and meet the people. Now the people go feel say we are giving you a chance at all, either first time or second time. The same thing. The same thing Balaton will talk. That person do 8 years, me say I deserve 8 years. So when would they talk say the people the poor people don't count. And this so-called presidential system that we are practicing, people don't seem to understand. Then they tell you to your face, they are saying it point blank. They are making argument within themselves. Obi is not telling the Nigerian people that he only wants to do 4 years. If he's telling the Nigerian people, nobody pay attention to what anybody criticizing him from the elite. He will be in the trenches trying to sow that into these people's mind, convince them, because now them will have the final say. If going by what the agrees is the people count. But because they don't count, he took his message to Twitter to criticize those who are at level who say it deserves to be psychologically evaluated. He cannot. Again, and about it too is reinforcing the statement that is abound within their circle. Now, them. It has nothing to do, because if it's actually about the people, the conversation will not, the debate will not be within themselves. They will go after the people and trying to convince them. Dr. Tinubu will be telling people that, yes, I deserve 8 years because of this, not because of that person to 8 years. It's not automatic, but within them, they know what they are doing.
For another 4 years. So there are many sides to this conversation. Thank you very much, Sumna Sambo.
Oh, it's unfortunate that that's where we are. So anytime when one person won't follow me, I make that debate. Forget about the people. Not just anywhere in the world, the people don't count. The people don't count. Just like you are expecting the Dangote to come and sit down with poor people to the maybe they advise them which kind of business strategy or business policy he should take. No, that's exactly what he's trying to do. Who be some president is more or less a business strategy for those billionaires. Because we become president fit into your agenda automatically or not. So, and especially we are coming from a country whereby the people are not together. We are divided in every metric you can put on the table. So nobody is making an attempt. Instead of looking for a statesman at that level, you have to serve to be a statesman. No, dude, I still can't. Anybody that can tap into those 130 something million dimensional poor people, because those are the people that are out of the voting pool. Anybody who go there and just bring 20% of those people into the political mainstream, that person will be a hero. That's what Obi is trying to do. Obi no get 20%, but he has some, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5% that he brought to his own votes, and we see what is the permutation change overnight. So is beyond is not just out of desperation, but it's also out of selfishness and disregard for the ordinary people who ought to have the power to decide who serve and who deserve to serve 4 years or more. But instead, their greed and their short-sightedness will not go will override everything. So on that, ladies and gentlemen, see you later.